today's video about the role of growth hormone in the muscle hypertrophy, and this is part 6 in the series of increasing strength and the size of the muscles. Please mind that you can find in the description a link to the presentation, and then you can click on links which are here in blue color, and you can get to the sources of the information, so you can get deeper and you can develop this knowledge deeper. Okay, let's go now. Growth hormone, or somatotropin, also known as human growth hormone in its human form, is a peptide hormone which that stimulates growth, reproduction, and regeneration of cells in humans. Growth hormone is a 191 amino acid, so it is the number of the amino acids 191, single chain polypeptide with a molecular weight 22,124 Dalton. It is synthesized by somatotropic cells within a pituitary gland, and much of the growth hormone is used to stimulate production of so-called insulin-like growth factor 1 in the liver. Also, high level of growth hormone increases the concentration of glucose and free fatty acids in blood. So you see its chemical structure and model of the hormone. You see that it is very complicated substance, not easy to synthesize, not easy to produce. Previously, it was just extracted from organs, from animal organs, from brain, for example. The ability of the pituitary gland to produce growth hormone declines very little with aging in most people. This is very important. Remember, we can produce, the pituitary gland can produce growth hormone up to very old age, but there are at least 3 substances which control the growth hormone secretion. Growth hormone releasing hormone, somatocrinin, growth hormone releasing peptides, quite many of them, and growth hormone inhibiting hormone, somatostatin, or somatostatin, okay, which in turn are affected by many physiological stimulators. For example, exercise, nutrition, vitamin B3 and B6, sleep quality, zinc, magnesium, etc. As well as by inhibitors, that is, for example, free fatty acids in blood. Level of this growth hormone somatocrinin and growth hormone releasing peptides decline with age. So you see that a hormone which is responsible for releasing the growth hormone and the peptides which stimulate production or release of the growth hormone, they decline with age. This is explain why we are losing the growth hormone with age. Meanwhile, the natural production of this inhibiting growth hormone, this is somatostatin, is increases with age. So the result of the combination of this factor, the growth hormone level drops in age. What stimulates the secretion of the growth hormone normally? Protein-rich food, deep sleep during deep stage of the sleep, intense endurance exercises and resistance exercises, intake of some amino acids, for example, arginine, ornithine, lysine. Okay, you can read it yourself from presentation just well. So, and also it is important to have low blood glucose level. So it is hypoglycemia, okay? Hypoglycemia, so low blood glucose level ignites release of growth hormone. Okay, next, increased level of testosterone. Supplementation with DHEA, vitamins B3, B6, propranolone, it is the substance hormone produced from cholesterol, fasting and intermittent fasting, and then such substances like ornithine and, okay, please read it yourself, my pronunciation is awful, sorry. Gamma aminobutyric acid, GABA, is very, very important. In combining GABA with 5-hydroxytropin tryptophan, so it is known as 5-HTP, likely has an synergistic effect on the release of growth hormone. Indeed, 5-HTP improves sleep quality, and the effect is greater when it is combined with GABA, this gamma aminobutyric acid, and vitamin B6, also with zinc and magnesium, and vitamin B3, also important. Resistance exercises have been shown to induce significant hormonal elevation in testosterone, growth hormone, and insulin-like growth factor 1. So you can go to the publication and read in details. Gains in the muscle hypertrophy and strength following the resistance exercises are independent of the total load lifted, provided that load is lifted until the point of momentary muscular failure. For example, muscle hypertrophy was no different with lifting loads of 30% of the one repetition maximum load compared with 90%, so long as both resistance exercises were taken to failure in one set. Okay, this is true. We have to go to the failure. It is otherwise there is no help. You are wasting time if you are not going to failure. But of course, the closer you to the maximum load in one repetition, the shorter would be the set, and the more efficient you will use your time in the gym. Overtraining can lead to increase in blood pressure, anxiety, stress, and inflammation. So mind that don't be a gym rat, so don't spend hours and hours in the gym. It will not help. You have to value your time. Growth hormone begins to rise 10-20 minutes after commencing resistance exercises and peaks at the end of the resistance exercises. Okay, so again, resistance exercises and loading muscles till the limit and to the failure is producing release of the growth hormone. So, and then it is returning to baseline values around 60 minutes after the resistance exercises. Resistance exercises increases the amplitude of each growth hormone pulse rather than the frequency of them. In younger adults, exercise-induced growth hormone release is relatively non-specific in response to both resistance exercises and endurance exercises, this or that. But for older people, it is only resistance exercises are working, only loading your muscles to the failure, and you're going really hard working. Resistance exercises protocol of moderate intensity with short rest periods, 1 minute versus 3 minute resting time between sets, result in high circulating concentration of growth hormone in both men and women. Again, this is a good information. So it is maybe again 5 repetitions would be kind of high intensity, low volume, and more than 15 repetitions would be low intensity, high volume, and something between is considered better compromise, and it works better to improve the release of growth hormone. Okay, we see here the effect of the high intensity training versus low training, and again, so people were two groups of people were. Some were using high intensity interval training, some were in some endurance exercises, and after a while, after months of training, the release of growth hormone didn't change much. You see, it goes almost the same values, little bit more, and even in low training in the group with only endurance exercises, the release of growth hormone even reduced at the maximum, at the peak, at the end of the exercise. Insulin level is dropping, obviously dropping, because during the exercises we are using glucose, and level of insulin is dropping, obviously. In the study undertaken by Tipton, that's you see the reference, the consumption of 15 grams of essential amino acids before and 1 hour after resistance exercises has shown to cause an anabolic response. Delaying protein consumption by 2 hours after resistance exercises can have a significant negative effect on muscle hypertrophy. So protein intake 20 grams immediately or within the first 30 minutes after resistance exercises has been shown to induce optimal muscle protein synthesis in newbie athletes. Okay, so remind that after your workout in the gym, better in interval before 30 minutes, you have to eat some protein food or take some shake. That's like whey protein shake and 20 grams. But if you take more than the 20 grams of dry protein, it will be protein oxidation, because too much protein is not good. The protein will be used to generate glucose. So this is remind that it has to be balanced with fat. Intake of essential amino acids before resistance exercises resulted in a greater anabolic response than after resistance exercises. Okay, you can use it, like you can use drink this protein shake before the resistance exercises. And what is again important, for me at least, aging does not diminish the increase in muscle protein synthesis following resistance exercises and high quality protein rich meal. This is a good news. I was discussing it in some of my videos that at any age elderly people can grow muscles, and this is very important for rejuvenation. I will talk about this later on. Low-fat diets appear to decrease testosterone level and the muscle hypertrophy in men. So you see what is recommended by many dietitians that to reduce the amount of fat, it will decrease testosterone level and obviously growth hormone release also. And men with European ancestry may experience a greater decrease in testosterone in response to a low-fat diet. Low-fat, high-carbohydrates diet can also lead to insomnia. Okay, this what again we will discuss it right again. That to my opinion, it's my opinion again, that only strict carnivore diet is optimal for to increase growth hormone release, natural release of the growth hormone. Recent studies have shown that resting growth hormone responses increase with oral ingestion of L-arginine, yes, if I read it right, and the dose range from 5 to 9 grams. L-arginine alone increases the resting growth hormone levels at least 100%, but when together with exercises, together with resistant exercises, can increase growth hormone level 300, even 500%, 3-5 times. Taking 2 grams of the amino acids L-glutamine in the morning and 10 to 30 grams of the amino acid L-arginine before bedtime is an efficient way to increase levels of growth hormone peak at night. But please mind that this is mostly for people in age like from 30 to 40, 35 to 55, because young people, who yet grow, the increase of growth hormone in blood may lead to that they will grow very tall, and some other changes in bone structure will be. So it has to be it's necessary to be very accurate for young people to use growth hormone or even to use the supplements. Most scientists believe that L-arginine promotes growth hormone release by inhibiting the release of somatostatin. This is a hormone which is inhibiting the growth hormone release. Human body usually makes all the L-arginine it needs. L-arginine is also found in most protein-rich foods, including fish, red meat, poultry, and dairy products. Both of these amino acids must be taken on an empty stomach and should be used for about 6 weeks, then stopped for 2 or 3 weeks. And so if you use these supplements, and such cycling can be continued indefinitely. Unfortunately, the effectiveness of efficacy of the growth hormone release with this amino acid supplements is not very effective in people over age of about 40 to 45. So it is working better for younger people, okay? Growth hormone is normally released in pulses or bursts throughout the day. There are about 10 to 20 surges of growth hormone release. The largest and most predictable of these growth hormone peaks occurs about an hour after onset of deep sleep, with a plasma level of 13 to 75 nanogram per milliliter, or it is, if you to deciliter, you have to multiply 10. Therefore, growth hormone levels in the blood fluctuate throughout the day, but insulin-like growth factor 1 levels remain more stable. Growth hormone induces the regeneration of insulin-like growth factor 1 in the liver and in many other tissues. Again, the liver is the main tissue which is producing this insulin-like growth factor, but also other tissues can do the same, including muscles. Therefore, levels of insulin-like growth factor 1 in blood are used often to estimate reduction of the growth hormone production with synthesis with age. You see here the plot of the growth hormone release during the sleep. It is in milligram per milliliter, but okay, you can calculate also on nanogram per deciliter. So it's milligram per milliliter seems more natural. And you see that 1 hour, about if you go sleep 10 o'clock afternoon, then about 1 o'clock later, you have in stage of deep sleep, you have release of growth hormone, but it drops in about 3 hours after you go sleep. What is interesting, I normally wake up after 3 hours after getting sleep. I wake up somehow, because probably it is related somehow to cortisol or maybe to other hormones release. I know, but whatever. For me, I sleep 3-4 hours and I'm waking up, and then I go sleep again. It was thought that the anabolic properties of growth hormone are largely work. Largely work throughout the insulin-like growth factor 1 that activates satellite cell. Okay, I was explaining how the muscle cells work, how we're getting this hypertrophy. So it is activation of the satellite cells. Satellite cell merge with the muscle cells, and they increase production of protein in the muscle cells. They increase production of all these protein fibers, and then they increase also volume of the muscles. And this is all done by insulin-like growth factor 1. But insulin-like growth factor 1, it is for its release necessary. What is necessary? It is overloading of muscles. So this insulin-like growth factor is released in liver mostly, but also in muscles. So you have to overload the muscle. You have to go to failure of the muscles, and then it will be these satellite cells will be activated, and then you will get muscle growth, muscular hypertrophy. Both growth hormone and the insulin-like growth factor 1 have been shown to increase muscle protein synthesis in resting and inactive muscles. But again, this is kind of controversy. So maybe young people, it is during the rest it works, and even in atrophic muscles. But with or before in atrophic muscle without exercises or after exercises, but for young people, yes, it works. Not so effective as after exercises, but yet works. But other studies which include more grown people, and they have failed to find any increase in the muscle protein synthesis by insulin-like growth factor 1 or growth hormone in the resting muscles. Okay, remember that if you think that you have to improve and enhance level of growth hormone in your muscles and grow muscles, and you do it in the day when you rest, when you don't do any exercises, don't waste your money. Okay, they don't waste your money. Don't you waste your efforts. It will be all in vain. So you need combination of resistant exercises. You have to go with these resistant exercises up to failure, complete failure, to repeat the exercise, and then this growth hormone or insulin growth factor 1 will work for you. Okay, then again, this, as I said, activation of the satellite cells and muscle hypertrophy not only needs not only a high level of growth hormone and this IGF-1, but also resistant exercises with progressive overload of the muscles. This is absolutely necessary. Remember this. Okay, so here we see some picture that pituitary gland release growth hormone. Growth hormone ignites and production of insulin-like growth factor 1 in the liver mostly, but also in other tissues. And then this factor activates cells, and it helps to repair and rejuvenate the cells and tissues. This is very important. I will talk in some next videos that the muscle hypertrophy is actually has to be a part of the rejuvenation body. So people who are in older age, they can rejuvenate their body, really rejuvenate their body, if they are practice this bodybuilding and muscle hypertrophy. This very much helpful. But again, you have to do it, but somehow more natural and with cautious. So everybody has to be responsible for own health. So it's not so easy. But in young people, muscle, bones, and tissue grow with this both from growth hormone and insulin-like growth hormone. Okay, the insulin-like growth factor 1 is a hormone. It is a hormone actually, which is similar in molecular structure to insulin. It consists of 70, only 70, not 191, but 70 amino acids in a single chain with a 3 intermolecular disulfide bridges. Insulin growth factor 1 has a molecular weight 7,649 Dalton, and production of this hormone, or this insulin-like growth factor 1, is mostly stimulated by growth hormone, but yet again in maybe in a lesser extent by levels of DHEAS, as it is in this DHA in blood, so it is sulfate, and also level of the testosterone and other hormones in blood. The highest rates of the insulin-like growth factor 1 production occurs during the pubertal growth spurt. Okay, that's true. That's true. We are losing with age. We are losing a lot of this growth hormone release, and insulin growth factor 1 also dropping. And also all these calculations about the growth hormone decline with age are estimated from the levels of insulin-like growth factor 1 in blood, and we see that it is sharply reduced during the this aging. So in age of 60, we have 10 times less of growth hormone and 10 times less insulin growth factor 1. So you see how aging is happening. If after 30 years old, the drop of growth hormone and insulin growth factor 1 is changing a lot, 4 times. Yeah, so it's this age we are growing, with time we are growing, and then it is all go very quick down. And this is why we are aging. There, at least not all the mechanism of aging, but quite many manifestation of aging. They are because drops insulin-like growth factor 1 drops, growth hormone release drops, and also DHEA drops. Production of drops. Okay, there are three basic ways for increasing of growth hormone naturally, or I mean, or naturally or unnaturally anyway. First, taking a substance that increases the natural secretion of human growth hormone by pituitary gland. This can be done. So there are natural substances which increase natural secretion of growth hormone. As I said in the beginning, pituitary gland can produce growth hormone, no problem, but we have to give them signal. We need signal molecules that the gland will start to work. Also, we can use injectable human growth hormone, and so such hormone which is releasing, give again signal molecule which release hormone production, growth hormone production, and and release from the pituitary gland. Okay, there are such substances, such hormone. There are, but again, it's not easy to buy. They are not available. Using injectable synthetic human growth hormone, which is it's RH, GH. It is taking substances that increase natural selection of growth hormone. Generally works the best for those for between age of 30 and 45. For most people with age above 45, they have to use so-called hormone replacement therapy, that is injections of this synthetic type of hormone, somatotropin, and this is most efficient and most easy way, which is available, but it's not cheap, of course. And if you try to buy a cheap version of the somatotropin, then it can be somehow not high quality, or maybe a fake. Okay, please read maybe yourself that there are many clinics nowadays, maybe not in all developed countries, but in developing countries you can find such services that people will give you this somatotropin, and you do injections yourself, or every week you will go and will get injections, and then it really helps. Such also injections of testosterone or testosterone esters. So quite many positive impacts, very many. You can read it yourself from presentation. And there are also adverse effects. It's of course, because growth hormone is very potent substance. So what is happening? First, especially if you use large doses, more than 5 international units, for example, then you will see enlarged body parts and inner organs. This is bodybuilders nowadays look awfully. The belly of them is just look ugly. And growth of guts, this is what I'm talking about, growth of guts volume, and this distended belly. This belly, it looks, well, not nice nowadays. Physical addiction to the growth hormone injections, because the pituitary gland will stop natural hormone production if the doses you inject yourself will be very high, like more than 5 international units. And so it is crazy to use so high doses. And again, psychological addiction to the injections, because the injections of growth hormone give you some better feeling, sense of well-being, etc. So some people are getting addicted, otherwise they are getting into depression. Okay, what else? Joints, pain, and swelling. Yeah, that's true. Inflammation in the injection site, dizziness, headaches, increased insulin resistance, and diabetes type 2 mellitus development, swelling in the arms and legs, I told already, so it is joints pain and swelling, and mild increase in blood pressure, hyperthyroid. This is your thyroid may not produce enough or maybe it is actually too much this hormones will produce. Dry skin and hair, fluid retentions, and weight gain. So it's a lot of adverse effects. So everybody have to think, is it necessary or not? So it is necessary for him or for her to increase the muscle mass. Growth hormone is a positive regulator of extracellular matrix. This is again important. I wish to you pay attention to this. So this extracellular matrix, ECM, this what is happening. The synthesis of this, the decomposition of the and the synthesis of this matrix happening. You can read the sources, and I will talk about this later because for me it is very important. It is possible that the structural and biochemical changes in the skeletal muscles of the extracellular matrix of the skeletal muscles contribute to the increased stiffness and the impartment of the force generated by contracting muscle fibers seen with aging. Okay, what is the sense? The older people, even if they have the size, the volume, yeah, stiffness of the muscles do not allow them to get the same force, the same strength as young people. Okay, and the increase in muscle size due to the injections of this synthetic growth hormone is actually will result in the increase in the volume of the connective tissue and extracellular matrix, which does not contribute to the muscle strength but only to the bulk of the muscles. Okay, so so it is not. It is again there is some trick that you maybe look better, but strength will not grow much after injections, so be careful. But there is a way of rejuvenation. You just have to do it properly. So this increase in the muscle hypertrophy can rejuvenate your body eventually. Okay, we will talk in some other video about this. It is, for me, it's very important. Adverse effects from the injectable the growth hormone therapy are very rare, as long as the amount of this growth hormone injections used is 1 international units or less, and 4 to 7 days a week using insulin syringes. Okay, syringes, it's no, not correctly, syringes. Okay, but well, what is again important? As I said, the best is not to use growth hormone injections if this was the resting day. I know some friends who are doing these injections twice a day and every day. I was trying to convince them not to waste money, but okay, they have some own ideas. I don't interfere, but it is wasting money as minimum. So growth hormone does not affect the root causes of aging, that is accumulation of advanced glycation end products, senile cells and toxins in our body, but it can certainly affect many of the manifestations of aging. By increasing the level of growth hormone with hormone replacement therapy, we can slow down or even reverse many of the manifestations of aging by about approximately 5 to 15 years or more. There were publications that combination of growth hormone injections, about 1-2 units per day, together with metformin and DHEA, it gave in 1 year quite good rejuvenation, approximately 5 to 10 years. This is what I'm talking about. So if it is used properly, we will definitely see rejuvenation. How stable it will be, it's another question, but certainly growth hormone, especially if it is used in combination with other substances, supplements, it is a great idea. But however, this hormone replacement therapy cannot increase maximum lifespan, but there is opportunity. Again, there is opportunity. We can talk about the exercises. This is why muscular hypertrophy is important for rejuvenation and to increase the maximum lifespan. We will talk. I will talk about this later. I hope I will prepare such video. Okay, this growth hormone, often sold as powder, separate from sterile water and measured in international units, and 3 international units is 1 milligram. Since the largest natural growth hormone release in healthy young people occurs shortly after the onset of sleep, most physicians originally suggested that growth hormone be injected just before bedtime. This is what I was talking to my friend. He said, no, morning, but okay, it's not, it's his opinion. Everybody can have own opinion, don't interfere. There have been also claims that that these human growth hormones slightly shorten the lifespan. It is again, if you will not combine it together with other supplements, it will do so, because it is increasing the concentration of glucose in blood. So you have to do quite many things more than this. And this combination, what I said, metformin and DHEA, this helped, because metformin reduces the amount of level of glucose in blood, and then together with injections of growth hormone, it works better. Especially if it is DHEA additionally added, because DHEA dropping the same like growth hormones release dropping, the DHEA synthesis drops also. Okay, but again, higher insulin-like growth factor 1 is associated with a longer survival in elderly men. So if everything done properly, this higher level of insulin-like growth factor 1 is governed not only growth hormone, but also it is governed by exercises, good food, I mean enough proteins, enough these micro elements, etc. So it is, of course, it has to be associated with longer lifespan. Instead of these injections of growth hormone, it is possible to use injections of sermorelin, tesamorelin. This is the peptides which help to release the growth hormone. Yeah, but they are not cheap. They are boosters of this growth hormone release and production in the pituitary gland. You can read, but again, I don't know. I didn't see it. It's not easy to buy. They should be available somehow, but I didn't see it. Okay, alone or with growth hormone releasing peptides, the peptide, another peptide, with this gexarelin, also known as examorelin. So theoretically, I know that there are such peptides, but again, I didn't see it. And these peptides may enable a person to experience the benefit of these growth hormone injections with fewer side effects. But again, it works only, it is quite short. Sermorelin is a synthetic peptide containing only 29 amino acids, and this it only mimics the naturally occurring releasing hormone from 44 amino acids. So it is working, yes, but again, it works not for all the people. It doesn't work very well. Sharp decline of the DHEA sulfate growth hormone, and then also this insulin-like growth factor 1 levels in blood after age of 30 underlines and explains many aging manifestations. By increasing the level of DHEAS, sulfate growth hormone, and this IGF-1, we may slow down aging but not extend lifespan. Again, the extension of lifespan, it is more difficult. It is quite complicated stuff, but I believe that it is possible. While this growth hormone can be used for injections, and for people older than 60, like maybe 45, 60 years, it is the simplest way to go. Yeah, because, okay, at least this somatotropin you can buy. If you have enough money, you can buy. Prices go up because it is highly regulated, but you can buy it. But again, you don't mind that you can use exercises, especially resistant exercises, and sauna, infrared sauna, and traditional sauna, and steam room, and deep sleep, and supplements to improve the deep sleep, supplementation, and also what is absolutely important in my opinion, high protein keto diet, which is carnivore diet. Each individual must take their own responsibility for his or her health and decide how to stay healthy and be active for life. Again, there is no magic pill, unfortunately. Unfortunately, there is. And muscle mass in humans is quite big. It is approximately, let's say, more than 80% for young men and about 70% for women, for young women. And surprisingly, surprise, resistant exercises, if they are done properly with progressive overload, and if they result in muscle hypertrophy, they may help to rejuvenate our body, as it is what is happening when with muscle hypertrophy. It is remodeling and rejuvenating extracellular matrix of the muscles. Muscles are getting young tissue. You're getting suddenly you replace old tissue with this stiff extracellular matrix. This stiff extracellular matrix disintegrate and replaced by new muscles. And these new muscles, as any tissue in our body, it is producing some signal molecules, and these signal molecules give the command to other organs in your body that, oh, okay, guys, we are young body, we are young, we are not old, we're okay, we have no sarcopenia, we have strong body. And then it will certainly give effect of rejuvenation of the other organs. But again, it is not so easy. Technology has to be have many details, and I'm going to prove it. Okay, so it's again, in my opinion, stiffness of the increasing of the stiffness of this extracellular matrix and accumulation of the advanced glycation end products in the matrix and in tissues as a root cause of the aging, together with accumulation of toxins and some zombie cells probably. Okay, but then we have to do it properly, and we can reduce the stiffness of the body, especially with supplements which I produce myself. For me, now we don't produce for my friends because I just moved to Bangkok. I don't have any production facilities any longer, but at least there are some enzymes that can help to improve elasticity of the extracellular matrix, and it works. But to surprise, this even muscle hypertrophy, during the muscle hypertrophy, some cells activate and they produce own enzymes which disintegrate the stiff extracellular matrix and replace it with more elastic extracellular matrix. But you need a lot of components to produce this new elastin and new collagen, and so okay, it's not very easy. I hope to make this video later on. And again, what I want to say is there is no magic pill or injection that may rejuvenate a person. No. A motto or the motto, no pain, no gain, is valid for muscle bulking and rejuvenation. So you have to work hard in the gym, you have to use supplements, you have to understand what you're doing, then you grow your body, and this body eventually will be rejuvenated. If you do everything right. Don't put this goal to increase your mass of the body, to increase volume of the muscles, but to rejuvenate your body. Yes, it will work. Okay, then again, it is only my opinion. Thank you for your time to watch this presentation. Please mind that I am not a medical professional, neither I am experienced athlete. Yeah, okay, I am just doctor of science. Therefore, my personal opinion cannot be used as medical professional advice. I do this video mostly for myself. Okay, the best way to understand the subject, it is to learn yourself, to prepare some documents, and to teach other people. This is what I'm doing slowly. I teach. Even I present this video. It is also very helpful for myself because I have more structured knowledge in my mind about this rejuvenation, what I'm going to do, what in steps, and it is also good motivation to produce videos and to do what I had. And I like it. You know, I started 3 weeks ago. I started to go to gym. I'm so surprised by results. I do it really well. So I even didn't think about how I should do it, but somehow, because all the combination of what I was doing before, somehow it is so beneficial. Almost this my carnivore diet, all this by combination of the endurance exercises with resistance exercises, and all works, and also supplements. It works so that, to my big surprise, muscles grow so quick that even my friends looking at me, oh, you're getting bigger. Yeah, okay. So I'm getting stronger too. I'm getting stronger. I see what weight I can move and what move or to push. Yeah, that works. Okay, and other my friends, I was giving such information before to my friends. I started myself these exercises just 3 weeks ago. But theoretically, I knew it about this. I was talking with some friends and clients, and they were using this technique, and it works for them very well. And they were very, very pleased by the result. And and they recommended it. I told them to use growth hormone injections. They used it and were very happy. I didn't start yet because it's not available now. I have to wait before they will be available. So I will buy and try in low doses of growth hormone. First, I believe not for muscle growth, but I'm more counting on growth of collagen, and I want to improve my skin appearance like this. So it's because growth hormone should work for skin very well. Okay, that's all. Thank you for your time again. Ciao.